Hi, welcome. Please give me a second. Hi, I'm B. Welcome to my channel. There are millions of YouTube channels that create content, and you landed on mine. I hope you'll stick around, hear what I have to say on this topic, and share your thoughts as well. And as always, please be respectful to the people I'm speaking on. Thank you. Hi, thanks for coming. I don't know where to begin today. I woke up this morning, and it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Not that I wasn't aware of it, but just want you to know I am aware. But the things that have been happening on YouTube, how they affect mental health is just something else. So the thumbnail that I have up, that thumbnail is the screensaver of my phone that I've had for probably a year now, and try to live by that. You can't fix everything. You can't worry about everything. And I've learned that. And I just want to... Hi, Betty Boop. I'm sorry I didn't see you there. YouTube has had an effect on my mental health. I've not been shy about it. I've talked about my mental health before. I have anxiety, which I'm suffering from currently. I'm sitting here, my hand is shaking. I feel like there's an elephant sitting on my chest, and some things have been happening, and I've never wanted to talk about these things, but I'm really tired of what's being said, and I'm tired of people having to go through these things. So I want to go back a little bit. I had to look at myself. I have to do some introspect on, I had issues with Coley, I had issues with Sarah Jean, and I've had issues with Sarah. And, when you have that kind of thing, you have to think, well, maybe I'm the problem. No, I am. My problem, though, is that I worried so much for them and their mental health and their issues, and tried to build them up and be strong for them, that I injured myself in the process. And other people have too. I'm not trying to take away. There's more to this than just me. I'm just only speaking on myself for the moment. So with that, we've went through the Sarah Jane thing. Sarah, I don't even know. I met Sarah through the Coley thing, through the Alex situation and stuff. So, but she was just a commenter. I wasn't even a creator at the moment. But I became a creator over the situation, and then she would be in my comments, and she had the most eloquent, thoughtful comments, and I appreciated them. She took the time. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Chicago, for listening. Hopefully you may say something too later. Anyway, so Sarah she would leave these long, thoughtful, she didn't just like spit anything out and then do another line and come back and say something else. She literally took the time and watched your content and listened to what you said and put thought behind it, and left these comments that were freaking novels, but they were amazing, honestly. And so she said she had something to say, and she kind of did some little shorts on her channel, did little things, and I was like, go for it. I mean, I am no one to tell do not create a channel, but I'm also a cheerleader to this is how I get myself in these troubles. And so I was like, go for it. You have something to say, you have a place to say it. Nobody can stop you from why not? So if I encourage Sarah, and I will take full responsibility for that situation of cheering her to have a voice and use her voice. And she would use it in my comment section. So why shouldn't she use it on her own channel or her own place? So that's where I'll take that. But as we know, there's more to the Sarah story than any of us knew or any of us had any idea what was happening at the time. I mean, it would become evident over time. But that's not what I cheered on. That is not what I encouraged at all. Absolutely the opposite. Like, stop, take some time, think about it. Like she did the comments, they were so amazing. Why not use that same technique and write out what you want to say and say it in a concise manner? So it was never like, yeah, go on there and rant or do these things. It was never. So when it started changing to me, from my perspective, there were people being nasty to her. And I nasty ain't even a good enough. It was vile. It was repulsive. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen anybody do to somebody. So I wasn't going to sit there and say, shut up. Why would I do that instead of saying, I support you, Sarah. I support you because these people are attacking you and being so freaking vile. Why would I not say I support you in that moment? So I did. And I stand by that today, despite what all's happened and where we are today. In that moment, there was no reason to turn my back on her and use her against herself by any means. Sorry. So then I'm not in my usual place. So if y'all hear the water, I'm in the open living room with a sorry, I got you Kleenex. In the living room with a aquarium, fish aquarium that's very loud, and people have accused me of making them have to use the restroom. So I do apologize if you can hear the aquarium. I don't know. Normally you can't hear it from my desk, but if you hear it here, I'm sorry. So back to Sarah, they is it her fault for not gathering her thoughts? What kind of fish? Neons and some glowfish. So they're my husband's. I want nothing to do with them, I'll be honest with you. I've hated that fish tank from the moment, and we've had 13 years, the moment we got together. I hate that fish tank. Anyway, so they were coming at Sarah, and I don't know where, someone else may be more clear on this, but this is only my perspective and where I felt, but somewhere she said something, and the word delusional was used by somebody. I don't know if it was her or the other side, but they grabbed that word and used that word against her you might as well have been stabbing her with a knife at every time you just it's a word. It's a word that anybody should be able to use, anybody can use. It's not anything, but she made people aware of how negatively it affected her and how badly it hurt her, and to the core what that word was doing to her. And they took that word and they made it into channels, and they used it at every drop of the hat, that even when it wasn't a necessary word to use, it was thrown there. It was intentionally to hurt her to her core. And so somewhere in there, it was said, and I think it's because she was so hurt, and why she was using that is, she mentioned her child, she mentioned a mental illness, she mentioned some things, and in there, she felt compelled to share some of the story in order to explain why it was so hurtful, which truly only gave them more weapons, which in, hindsight 2020, that hopefully, we all can say she shouldn't have shared nothing with these people to try to make it better for her. It only made it worse. And the things that they said to her, and the channels they made, in my opinion, and it's mental health awareness, and I'm not here to diagnose anybody, Sarah suffers from mental health issues. That is my opinion. I will stand on that. I don't, I'm not a doctor, don't have any degrees for that, but I don't think it takes a rocket scientist or a psychologist to see that she had issues going on. And they used that and they abused her under those thoughts, under the idea that she had a mental illness. Literally, one of the channels that still is around today said, "I hope this pushes you off a cliff," on one of their shorts. Today, they're like, "Oh, we're here. We support you." I will get to that, but that was done, and they know it, and they said it, and the things they said were so freaking disgusting, almost criminal in nature. Had she offed herself or something happened, you know, uh, that was like that woman that kept telling her boyfriend to off himself, and she was charged for it. I mean, it was literally to that point. It was horrible what they were doing to her. So then she got to the point where I, I don't even know how to put this, because I'm not trying to hurt her or anybody on that were hurt by her already. Um, but people started coming out and saying, if you don't stop Sarah, we're going to do this to you. If you don't stop Sarah, an adult human, if you don't stop her, we're going to harm you. How does that make sense? How? I don't control any human anywhere. I don't. And I'm not just speaking on me, but nobody should control any human. I mean, that's a whole thing on its own. I mean, you just don't do that. And you can't expect somebody to be able to control somebody. And what they were doing to poke her, for her to react like that, if I could have shut her off from the internet, yes, I probably would have. There's time I would have flipped that switch. If that were just a flip the switch, not hurt her, not do anything, just yeah, turn it off. Take the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Yeah, I would have done it. But for someone to tell me they're gonna hurt me if I don't stop her, I still can't wrap my head around that. I can't wrap my head around your thought process and how demonic you people are and what you've done. There's It's not in my realm of thinking to act like that or how to justify that in my head. So in that, they did what they did. They doxed me. They harassed me. They made shorts on me. And I'm not just talking about me. There is a whole me to this side. I don't want to, if somebody wants to speak on what happened to them, I'll give them the platform, the whatever, the time. I know what happened to these people. It happened to me. It happened to them in the name of Sarah. What did I do to you people? What did half the people, how do you explain this to this day, what you've done? What you did to Sarah, what you did to me, what you did, people in my chat. How do you explain this? So it happened. They did it. But you know what, to this is where, and it's going to have to transform into this because there's more to this story that everybody here knows. But who is Sarah? Anyone over there? Who is Sarah? Not my people. Y'all know, you know. Who is Sarah? You don't fucking know. To this day, you don't know. What was the point of all of this? What's Sarah's story? What's this? What's that? You don't know. You're making up these freaking lies. You made up the story that he didn't exist. Her son didn't exist. Do y'all remember that? Now, as a mother, as a human, even as a, like, say, adoptive parents or even foster parents, to say that their children don't exist, how dehumanizing is that? How angered you incited the anger in her, knowing what you were doing. And you feel okay about that today, and oh, we support you, whatever. But I am so frustrated of what I've been hearing since then, and I never wanted to talk on Sarah, and I'm not going to ever talk about her story, never. But let's fast forward, because that's who is Sarah. So Sarah did share with me her family, pictures, moments, things, but never what came out later. Never. Didn't know it. It wasn't something she wanted to talk about publicly or privately. They kept pushing and pushing and pushing. He doesn't exist. You're stealing stories. You're stealing somebody else's child's story. All the things they said to her, they did that. And you can't take that away, what you did. And you can't turn this on anyone else for what you did to her mental health. Her son exists. That meant more to her than anything. That was her child. Are you kidding me? So Sarah started having major problems. Sarah said people were mailing her stuff. Sarah said people were putting stuff at either her doorstep or her car, or, invading her personal space in certain ways. And I have to say I question that, because my address was shown. This person's address was shown. That person's address was shown. The house, the city, the work, these things all were shown on us. But I never, ever saw Sarah's information shown online. And to this day, I don't know anyone that truly knows Sarah or her story that were doing this to her. Why don't you know who she is? If you were doing all these things, if you know all these things, if it were, it doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. So then she would leave. She would come back. She would do the things. She was in the DMs. She was in the DMs with me and Melissa. And I'm sorry, Melissa, but that's pretty much common knowledge. It's out there. Never did she talk about that story. She talked about how people were out to get her. She talked about how people were coming at her. She talked about how this made her feel, but not anything about her story or his story. So then they kept saying, if you just, I don't know how many, it went on for at least a month, if not more. Just show us your son exists and we'll leave you alone. Just show us that you really have a son, because, oh, that was Roddy mom. Yeah, you that looked into Sarah and said she didn't have any children. There were no children born to this woman, Sarah, in Atlanta, which is not Sarah, by the way. You caused half of this problem. But anyway, but y'all believe in it, that's your problem. The ones that use that information, the one that went hard for that, that's what you did. You have to hold responsibility for what you did to this situation. So then we move forward and she's getting a little paranoid. I mean, that's the only word I can use it. And I'm not trying to, it's my word, it's my thoughts. This is how I feel, in my opinion, that she was getting paranoid of who was a friend to her and who was a foe, because it was coming from every direction. And it was too much for her to handle. She was going through something. Let's go back to, if she didn't have a son and this was all some made up story in her head, then that's mental illness, and you poked that to the point of destruction. And that makes no sense to me. Fast forward, he exists, and she went through a very traumatic situation. And look how y'all handled yourself through that situation and what you did to her. Hi, Steph, I'm sorry. But you did this to her, and you have no remorse. You have no culpability. You could be held criminally responsible had she done anything for what you did to her. Thank God it didn't go that way, but it's painful to sit and think back about it. And did she then do things to people I care about? Yes. And it was hurtful. She hurt me. I know she hurt Melissa, and it's not okay. Do I think there was reason for it to start? I do. Do I think she could have maybe helped to end the situation? I do that too. So whatever, okay, Melissa, you have a say in this. So regardless of what Sarah wants to believe, I have never betrayed her confidence and did my best to support her. And I know that. I know people don't understand that. And I know that they'll never understand what it was like to be in those personal moments with her, going through what they had that woman so messed up. I don't even know how she's still here today. I don't. So no, Melissa supported her, never betrayed her, ever. That does need to be made aware and put out there. Actually, nobody really betrayed her. I mean, in the long run, did some things happen? They did, but did anybody betray her? No. Did anybody blackmail her, set her up? I don't know all the things that I've heard, but no, that didn't happen. I apologize. My throat was so dry. But Melissa's a wonderful friend, and she was a great friend to her. And 100%, I agree with that. So are we to the point where it ended? She started getting real distant, even from me and Melissa. Actually, I think she got distant from Melissa first. She would send me something and say, send it to Melissa and forward. You can show this to Melissa. And those are the only things I shared with anybody if she told me to share it with somebody. But other than that, I didn't share anything she said, even to this day. And I won't. I have thoughts after the fact, and I'll try to keep in line with this story. But so then she was going to go against Roadhog. And, did I want her to? No. I wasn't in contact with her at that moment. She was doing her distance thing. And I only had DMs with her and Instagram for myself. I know other people, not Melissa per se, but there's other people that had her phone number and different things, but I never did. I had only the Instagram DMs. So then she went to go on Roadhog. But he kept saying, they all kept saying, but he kept saying, If you prove to me her son is dead, I'll quit. I'll apologize. Not dead. I'm sorry. I misspoke. If he exists, this was still in the existence phase. Because at this point, they still were on to the fact that she's this woman in Atlanta that has no children. So if you prove that she has a son, we'll leave her alone. If she proved that she has a son, we'll stop this madness. We'll put an end to it. I knew it wouldn't end anything. So I wasn't saying nothing to nobody about nothing. I didn't really know that the true answer, but I reiterate that this whole thing, she had mental health problems and she was going through something real or imagined. I know it's real now, but real or imagined, this woman was going through something that you could feel it palpitated. You could taste it, you could smell it, you could feel it. It was so there. If you didn't know that she was going through something, then there's something wrong with you. And I mean, like I said, it could be real or imagined, but if you didn't feel she was absolutely going through something, there's something wrong with you. So this is where it gets to a tricky situation. True. Melissa says she didn't owe anyone answers. And I stand by that regardless of how it is today. I stand by that. Nobody owes anybody anything on here, especially about their real life and what they really go through. Yes, about her son. And so in that moment, Steph says, I think these people knew but didn't care. And that is how disturbed they are. Yes, they're so, it's been so many different angles. This is just the Sarah angle in mental health, but you and I both know that whole situation, those people are disturbed. They need to seek treatment themselves over there. That's my opinion. Anyway, so this is where it's iffy, and I'll tell you how I feel about it, but I'm just going to tell what happened. So Kirsty had her phone number from months ago when they were making a police report. They were making a police report. I want to make that clear. This is the only thing I'm going to talk about from behind the scenes that I personally know because of dealing with Sarah, speaking with Kirsty in that moment. In the moment, they were both making reports in their own home territory. Both. They shared phone numbers and where the reports were being filed with each other. That I know of. So then fast forward back to where we are in the story, and she's going to go on Roadhog, but if they do this, then they'll leave her alone, blah, 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 blah. Kirsty took the phone number and looked and found Sarah. She found the information. She redacted the hell out of that information. I know now all of it, who Sarah is, who her son is, the story of Sarah. I know this stuff now today, and I can look at those documents and I can't pull out one piece that I can search and find that information to dox Sarah or her son. I can't do it. It's not in that paperwork, in that screenshots that Kirsty shared. Melissa says she begged Sarah not to do that live. I did too. It fell on deaf ears because she was not responding to me at the time. So yes, I was like, this is not, she was not in the right frame of mind. First of all, that it wasn't about like, don't talk to them. It was nothing to do with that. It was that she was not in the right place. Okay. As long as it's a moot point, but it didn't use her phone number. Okay. What can I say? I used her phone number. There we go. Kirsty did not use her phone number. I eventually got it, and I did that, and I know what, but even Kirstai's never told me to this day who she is or what the story was. So if that tells you anything, um, it didn't come from Kirstai. Anything I know came from legitimately looking myself. So, anywho, sorry, I didn't mean to give you any. If you want to talk about it, you can talk about it. Um, I'm open to that. Anybody that wants to talk their side of it, I'm Melissa, Cursed, anybody, I'm good with that. I have no problem with that. If you want to come up, just let me know. But they had that information, and they still went at her. They still did what they did and didn't back down. And they want to say now that she was doxxed and blackmailed and harassed and all the things, and that's the furthest from the truth. Furthest from the truth. Don't make up stories. It didn't happen like that. It didn't go down like that, and it never was that. So to hear this today is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That, well, from looking at the screenshots and the comments and these things, this is what I have put together, this narrative and this storyline. And it didn't happen like that. It did not. Nobody had any inside information of Sarah's son until the day of Roadhogs Live with Sarah going up on panel. And I didn't even have it at that given moment myself. But what was put out there was not a dox. There's no identifying information anywhere, and it wasn't personal information as it was public record. But anyway, we weren't happy that it was put out. I think that's fair to say. Even, Melissa contacted me. I contacted Kirstai. We, say, hey, can you take that down? It's upsetting. She immediately, with no questions, no like why, it's my material, or it's who are you to tell me what to do, or and if she didn't take it down, there was nothing we could do about it, and there was nothing we were going to do about it. There was no threats. There was no, you're going to be ostracized or you're going to be put on nothing. It was just like, hey, that doesn't feel okay. Can you do that? And absolutely, it was gone as soon as she read the DMs. It was gone. She says she got multiple DMs. This is not to, I'm trying to, this is more about Sarah and where today they want to make it like that we did something to her. We set her up. We knew all this was happening, and it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I am done with the story that they're making up. I'm done with what they think happened, what could have happened, what should have happened. What's done is done, and it's done, and we're here today, but not going to make up these lies and stories of something that didn't happen and then put it on us like we did something to Sarah. And what they've done to you. You people have got to be kidding me. To the one-armed man, Sarah's dead son, making fun of her at every turn and posting everything she did, and her growling and the things those were guttural reactions to the pain and anguish she was feeling, and you made fun of her. You put that out there. Exactly. Betty, this is my first, why are you even talking about her? We haven't, nobody's brought her up. Nobody said anything about her except for that side. And I'm just tired of hearing it. And they tortured her. They absolutely did. 100%. There are bits and pieces Sarah shared with me and on her channel from time to time and about her son, but I never asked for details because it didn't matter to me. She was struggling and they were cruel. 150,000%. That's exactly how I felt too. I never want, if you go back to our DMs, if if this happened, my condolences, I'm sorry. It was never, I'm sorry your son died. It was sorry your son's this. Your son, it didn't matter what anything was true or false at that moment. And you can take that however you want, but we were dealing with a woman that was going through it, like being drugged through it, ran over, picked back up, and thrown back down. And that wasn't by us. That wasn't by our side. We did not do that to her. And you will not tell us today that anyone over here did that to Sarah. It didn't happen. She did go into a paranoia state. She has done things to fix that situation since then, from my knowledge of hearing from other people. Leave her the fuck alone. Leave her alone. Reaching out to her and say, oh, nobody wanted to I tried to platform her. I gave her the option to come and talk on my channel, that we could talk through it on her terms, at her pace, as she wanted to do it. And she didn't do that. That's her choice. So to keep hearing nobody would give her a platform, nobody would let her talk, bullshit. I did. And Sarah, if you're out here playing games behind the scenes, which I'm not accusing you of that, but if you are talking to people, Olivia, Tira, things, and turning this and twisting this in any form or fashion, you need to come out and tell the damn truth. If that's happening. If you're making this something it wasn't, and now who's done what to you, that. You have to. And if not, you need to go back to where you just came from. All these people do is lie, bully, harass. There is no boundaries. These people continued lies, doing nothing but continue to hurt Sarah. I agree. Am I upset with Sarah for making the tables turn on to Melissa and to other people in this community? I absolutely am. I am. But I also look at the fact that Sarah has mental illness, and Sarah did things to help Sarah. But I still, back to the other thing, I question, did she get doxxed? Did she get harassed? Did she get letters? Did she get these things? Did these people do this to her? Because to this day, those people still don't know who she is. How were they doing these things to her if they didn't know who she is? That doesn't make sense to me. And I mean, if somebody wants to clear it up and say, yeah, I sent her something to her mailbox, you go right ahead. But to this day, I question, did any of that really, was it happening, physically happening, or mentally happening? Because I know I was threatened. If I don't shut Sarah up, I'm going to be doxxed. And I was fucking doxxed. So never saw her information out there anywhere. And now they're all like, oh, Sarah, you were so tortured. Oh, it's so bad what you've been through. Y'all need to stop. You did it to her. You did it to her. Chicago says, me too. I'm sorry, I'm behind Chicago. I don't think most people knew the scope of what was happening until it already was bad. True. I didn't know. Okay, I knew what I was feeling. I knew what I was experiencing. I knew what I was dealing with Sarah and what I was seeing. I knew, but to the extent of what she had been through, what she was processing, what was happening to her, that is so much, knowing the truth of knowing what happened and what's real. That was so much. I can't imagine how she went through all that. I can't imagine how she's still going through that today. I'm sorry, I skipped Melissa. I supported her from the beginning because I saw what happened with my own eyes, and it was wrong. I obviously didn't see anything sent to her home or anything like that. Same. I never once seen, looked up, or been sent Sarah's info. I understand. That's the whole thing of like what they're saying today, is that I know I eventually did. Eventually. But I didn't share that. I didn't give that. I mean, and then technically she went through a death. Was it what we would consider a death? Probably not. I mean, no, I can say no. I didn't mean to laugh, but I caught myself and was like, no, we wouldn't consider that. But if you go back and know what happened and know what she went through, then yes, it happened. In her realm of thinking and what happened to her, it happened. So who are we to argue with that? Who are we to keep going on about, is he alive? Is he dead? Is he this? Is he that? And what difference does it make? Why are people still talking about Sarah? And why are they acting like they're her best friend now? What in the hell is that all about? What is this? Oh, poor Sarah, poor Sarah. You did this to Sarah. You did this to Sarah. People wouldn't stop making jokes about her son, so she would feel the need to share more in an effort to prove something, and then they'd turn it against her, and on and on. Absolutely. They should have stopped at the beginning of this end of story. This story should not even be talked about. I shouldn't be talking about it. I understand that, but I lived it with her, went along with her through this. It wasn't to fake a story, to make up a story, to go along with her story, to any of these things that are being said is not true. It was to support a woman who was going through something that I could feel, that I knew was happening, whether in her mind or physically happening, all the things. It didn't matter. It did not matter. It mattered that you could tell she was going through this. And so I stand by what I did. Has it turned around to bite me in the butt again? Absolutely. Absolutely. What are we on? Round 3? Round 4? No, Alex. Add Alex in there. You could hear it in her voice. The pain. I could feel it. I mean, maybe that's my problem is, having empathy and being what I would consider this normal, but other people I know now don't have feelings and can feel someone else's pain, but I could feel her pain. As I said earlier, I could feel it, I could taste it, I could touch it. It was taste everything. It was there. She had so much pain that she was going through and that she was feeling. I felt it. No way near what she felt. So if I felt this way, can you imagine what she felt like? Jeez. And then have these people saying, you don't have a son. He doesn't exist. You never had children. All the things that they did to her. It's just so painful. It's painful. Did she hurt people in the end? She absolutely did. And that's unexcusable too. I mean, I do think there's reason behind it, but all of it's unexcusable. It's not okay. It's not something we should just say, oh, well, she was feeling this way. People were doing this to her, and it wasn't us. That's what I want to make clear. That was my biggest thing. If anybody wants to say anything, let me know. I have no problem with that. Again, but with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, can we just leave Sarah alone? Maybe for, I think it should be forever until if Sarah came back and was doing her thing again, go, say what you got to say about the current situation if she was doing something today, but she hasn't come back. She's not doing anything. She hasn't poked the bear. She hasn't done anything that I know about. We haven't done anything to her. Nobody's ostracized her. Nobody's done anything to make this an issue again. Leave her alone. Know that she went through something. She's going through something. Leave her alone. And we've all been through something just for dealing with it. We've been through torture from you people over there. We've been tortured, literally tortured. I was so sick. I can't even I was literally, my body was shutting down from the torture you people put upon me for Sarah, in the name of Sarah. Why? Why was that so important to you to harm this woman to do these things to someone who wasn't even a person that you were targeting. Why did you target me for her? It still makes no sense to me. Chicago needs like 10 minutes, but she would like to speak. Okay, absolutely. We can wait 10 minutes. Can I do this here? Or do I have to do it in the other side? Does that make it show up on the... Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. I couldn't see it from the StreamYard side. Steph says abusers. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't... There's... The abusers is a tame word when you think about it. I mean, that was more than abuse. That was torture. It was so hard. Same, Melissa. Let me say it. I don't regret supporting Sarah. I only regret not giving more consideration to how it was all impacting me. Absolutely. That's what... Okay, so not only... And I'm with you on that. I know what you went through. Yours was a little bit... I was never accused that I can really put a finger to the way that you were, so I wasn't in that part with Sarah. But the stuff that the people from the outside were doing, plus they have no idea what we were dealing with Sarah. They have no idea what Sarah was like behind the scenes. They have no idea, and it's truly none of their business. But to put that much effort into somebody, and then for them to turn around and point the finger or suspect that you may be doing something to them, I can't imagine how that made you feel, especially when I know how much support you gave her. I know this. So I can only imagine, and I know the impact it had on you. I do. I don't regret supporting Sarah either, and I'm still going to support her. And I do too, and that's hard because I don't want Melissa or anyone else that... And I know Melissa don't feel... I don't know. I'm assuming, and I know Melissa enough that her heart is there to not feel anger or resentment for anybody still supporting Sarah in that way. Sarah's a human. Sarah's went through stuff. We know what Sarah's been through, and if you can't support that, even support her having mental health issues, then there's... I don't know what I'm trying to say, but there's no reason not to support her as a human. Did she have bad actions? Did she do some things that hurt other people? Yes. I hope she can at some point realize what she did that could have hurt people that cared for her, that weren't attacking her, that weren't doing these things and did not do these things. And maybe apologize, maybe at least... if she's left it alone. That's the thing, is she's not coming back, and she's not making this an issue. She's not doing that. It's these other people doing this in her name. So it's not really like, oh, Sarah, you know how the other Sarah Jean came back and was like, wah! Sarah hasn't done that. So it's not like, look at how you came back and what you've done. No, it's not like that. Sarah hasn't done anything after that moment. They're making up stories. They're making her a problem. They're making it an issue. But Sarah herself has not done that. Hold on, Melissa. I also feel it's important to say that I felt so strongly the need to help her because she had many times put herself out there to help others. The Sarah I knew had so much compassion for others. I don't really know where things went bad. Well, same. That's how I started this, is that she was just so... she was just a subscriber. She was just a co-commenter in the comment sections when I first contact with Sarah, my first contact with Sarah, and she was so thoughtful and she was so compassionate and all the things. And where it went bad, I think I don't really know either, but I do know I saw a shift at a time period that I can now go back and pinpoint to a time in her life that was very crucial moment that none of us or nobody else knew was happening in her home life, in her real life, that if you go back on the timeline, she was going through it. She was experiencing things I don't ever want to experience. And so I can see where it went bad. Did I know it? Did I think, oh, this is going to be bad because of the No, not at all. Had no idea it was even happening. Maybe we could have we supported her a lot, but maybe we could have supported her even more so if we had known what was actually going on. That's my hindsight 2020 thing. Like, now that could we have supported it a different way? Absolutely. But we didn't know. So there's no way to, like, that couldn't have happened. She was so supportive of everyone. I think when someone might have mental health issues and an abusive person talks about something so sacred, like your child, it causes a waterfall after that. Absolutely. I mean, it was definite that you could feel when they would say, you don't have a son. I mean, that was so hurtful to her. He existed. He was real. How do you tell someone, even if he had, they're over there crying about a miscarriage and that was real to her, right? I mean, how do you take someone's son and just say it didn't exist? So, yeah, it's a whole thing. But the person Sarah is deep down is a good person who will fight to support others that are often forgotten by our health system or ostracized. I can't speak. My mouth is really dry from all this talking. When they really need support. And she was very supportive. Think back to Alex, and that's where I think I first came in contact with her. Was when Alex was going through it, and she was dead set to leave Alex alone. She's going through it. We need more people like that. Yes, Melissa. Steph says, I agree, B. I got the sense that she was really upset. I wasn't talking about it, but I didn't see all of it. I didn't know what was going on, so I couldn't talk about something I didn't fully understand. And, we didn't fully understand either. Because it's all after the fact. It didn't change I knew she was going through something. I knew she was feeling something. I knew something was happening that I didn't have factual information for, but you could feel it. You knew it was happening. So, but to be able to speak on it, no, there was no way to have a clear and concise, this is the picture you want to put out, because you didn't know what it was. And none of us knew what it was until the day of the Roadhog Live. So how do you explain something or to make something, I don't know. Even had we known, let's just hindsight, let's try to, devil's advocate. Had we known and we said, hey, I think I even did, not in the respect of knowing what she was going through, but like, she's going through something. Can you just leave her alone? And then I was attacked for it. So, it didn't matter what she was going through or what they would have known. They would have still done it. That's just who they are. That is the type of people these people are. And for them to sit there today and act like oh, come on, Sarah, we'll be your buddy, your pal, your friend. You know what? Danger. That's all I can tell you. Do you want your camera on? Are you okay to have your camera on? I'm going to put you on there.
Can't see nothing.
I can see you. That's why I was asking if you want your camera on.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, can everybody else hear me?
Well, I'm assuming if I can hear you, they can hear you too.
Okay. Um, so like we were talking today, and I absolutely 150% wanted to address that too, because now they're snipping a live
Can
stream that I did.
can I have 1 second?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
No, no, no. I just want to. Melissa says she never understood why they couldn't leave the sun thing alone. If she's fighting with y'all, sure, make content about it, but pick a different insult though. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
they should have just never talked about her son, but that was the weapon. How can you not use the weapon, Melissa? I mean, their intent was to harm her and hurt her. So that's the only thing they had was her son was the weapon. So that you're talking like they have common decency or something, and that's just not something that's over there. Get that sucker out of your mouth.
It tastes good.
No, I'm not doing this with you. I will take there you go. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
Are you done though?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So I was absolutely gonna do that already, what you're doing. Um, because now using the video that I made during that live when, like, and I will restate it because their clipping skills are friggin' on point, but they're clipping it to paint a picture that did not exist. Number one, they're taking it out of context. I said, I understand exactly why Kirst did what she did. I understand it, like, to my soul, I understand it. But I wouldn't have done it. But just because I would, there's a lot of things I wouldn't do, like help old ladies across the street, help old men tie their shoes. I won't do that. Oh, I'm kidding. But
What
no,
is
I'm
wrong with
just saying
you?
there's a lot wrong with me. Um, there are a lot of things I wouldn't do, right? In that moment, I wouldn't have. Would I have done it after? It's possible because you know what? I've been pushed to it before. So in that moment that I was speaking, I felt some kind of way. I did.
Well,
I
it was
did.
in the moment too. It wasn't like it's this that was during
Correct.
the time it was happening.
Correct. And I will reiterate, I did not know F all about Sarah's son.
I didn't even tell you about Sarah's son when I knew about
Correct.
Sarah's son.
Correct. You did not share anything with me. So, Sarah, nothing was. So, if you assumed that B would share with me, that's not what happened. So when you cut off your communication with me, I asked her because I have like 3 or 4 different Instagrams for you. So when we stopped interacting, I was cool because I knew you were still talking to B
You're
and
talking
Mount.
about you're talking to Sarah now.
Yes, Sarah.
Yes, but Sarah did. That was another thing. She would open an Instagram and close an Instagram and open another. So it wasn't always the same. She would be gone and then come back different. So it was always a different one. Go ahead.
Correct. It was always new people that she was doing it, but I knew as long as she was talking, I knew as long as she had B, and it did. I will tell you, the summer of the Sarahs did get to me because I feel the summer of the Sarahs ran roughshod over B, and I didn't like it, and I couldn't stop it from happening. That's just how I feel, though, as her friend. She may not feel that way, but I was offended as her friend for her, even though she wasn't. I was, because it's like I'm a Grady B. I needed all my name. It was being taken out. I digress. Um, so did not know. I don't know anyone who knew about Sarah's son.
Mm-mm.
And when you look at it in hindsight, technically, yes. Like my father had a stroke. He was revived 3 times. My father died 3 times. I can say that. And that is a fact. It's true. You know, it happened. No, there was no intent to harm Sarah whatsoever. It was, she was, I believe, cursed. I was trying to save Sarah. Whether Sarah can see it or not, I will stand by. I knew why. I knew why it happened because they were tearing her apart fucking Roddy mom with her lack of skills,
When
no
you say you
investigation.
knew what was you knew you're talking about why Kirsty shared the information she
Yes, I
shared?
know
Okay.
yes, exactly, and I stated that in my live. I
Mhm,
said, "I don't agree with it, but I understand why, because they
mhm,
were torturing her." You made it sound so calm torture. No, Machiavellian type, rubbing the mustache, evil motherfuckers tying people up to the railroad tracks. That kind of evil. That is what they emit. The blackmailing us to try and make
mhm.
Sarah conform. Those are criminal friggin' acts. Scumbags. I know. Cursed.
I wanna get
I
to hers,
know.
hold on.
Okay.
S Melissa says, "I didn't agree with it and wasn't happy about it. I think it was the betrayal." I'm losing my things because 'cause y'all are talking. "Betrayal of Sarah, but I didn't believe the intent was to harm. And I do think it's important to say that at the moment, everyone was having a hard time and jumpy and wanting to put an end to it. Absolutely. Because it wasn't just, everybody was going through it in their own way of something of, they were being put through it if they weren't going through it themselves. Kirsch says, "My mental health degraded quite a bit from this, and I did what I did in a desperation bid to end the torture." And it's not just, it's not like, oh, you were making that up. It was said over and over and over again. If we find out that she even has a son, we'll leave her alone. If we find out that this is true or if this is that, we'll leave her alone. We'll leave her alone. We'll leave it alone. Anything to, you want to put a band-aid on it. You want to feel the fix the leaky pipe or whatever, you want to stop the
Mhm.
damage, but yet you had no idea that it would never stop the damage. It only fed their fire. Yes, definitely. Thanks for coming. I'm sorry about the topic,
Yeah.
the conversation. It is
It,
I
it
don't even know
needed
what
to
to say.
come out though. It needed to come out because all the Sarah Delulu and okay, we're like, are we doing the Beetlejuice thing?
Right.
Okay, so now,
I think they're trying to antagonize her out. That's my perspective is I think they're
yeah,
trying to antagonize her to come out.
and why? So they can torture. It's like what they're doing right now is textbook. It's textbook what? It's oh my god. Besides manipulation and brainwashing, it's the brainwashing thing. Gaslighting. They're gaslighting her.
Gaslighting, yeah.
Gaslighting her. They're fucking
They're trying
gaslighting.
to rewrite history and
Yes,
trying to
no,
make her this heroine of the story and
yes,
themselves as like the I don't even know, I don't do stories, but,
yes.
I mean,
They're
they're
the heroines and
changing
the heroes.
they're the heroes that are lifting her up and supporting her and doing all the things, and they were the ones tearing
And
her
it's the
down and
popcorn, you piece of
destroying
trash.
her.
You're the, blackmailer extraordinaire. I mean, it's still on site, bitch, on site because of that. On site.
Mm.
I will go real life for that because the way she tortured freaking Jughead in the stupid. Okay, you know, I don't want to go there. The names of the channels, the Delulu shit, and the other problem I had is that they were all in other communities previously. So I don't have a problem with that. I just did not know the players. I didn't know the history. I knew nothing. Like,
But then we
I'm
have people that come on and say, "I just got here and I'm gonna stop this." Who the hell are you? And where'd you come from? And why do you think you have any say so in this? If you're not lying and you've been someone else or a different channel or a different person,
yeah, I think it's got to be a lie. I think she's a big
how do you
fat
just pop on scene and demand something that you weren't part of? And in our world, you weren't mailman, sorry.
lie. Like Olivia. Yeah, like Olivia. That it's like doing in the recent talkings too, with her coming back and going to Tara and Olivia.
Yes.
So
Well, okay,
my
wait,
feelings
so
hurt for you and Mel. My
yes,
feelings hurt for you guys.
but like her talk, okay. Did she talk to Olivia? Possibly, probably. But more than likely. But Sarah's a people person too, and was she manipulated by her? I don't know.
I don't
There's a
know.
lot to all that. There is a lot to all that situation.
There is. Mhm.
She thought she had the answers, and when I saw her combos, she had things all twisted. I meant her combos with just saying yes. So we know Olivia talked to just saying. We know Olivia had what she believed information on Sarah, but when you really like reverse that and go and go back and think about it, was Olivia making shit up or hearing one thing and going on that? And like the way I didn't talk to Chicago, I didn't talk to Tira about none of this either. So
Correct.
Tira was unaware of until whatever Sarah said to her is all Tira knows between Sarah. Like Tira doesn't know my interactions with Sarah. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
I do know. I do know.
So
Yeah.
so what are they really getting? A different Sarah or a made up lie that they're making up? What Olivia told Just Saying was all wrong, and she had no clue the history or what was going on. And how could anybody? But yeah,
I just don't
and
understand
but Just
why
Saying wasn't
point
part
her
of the situation either. So how can she don't know
yeah,
nothing about it.
but why point her I can't get off that why point her at friggin' Olivia? Who is Olivia? Who? Why point that why point Sarah at Olivia? What is the point? If you acknowledge someone's mental health, you want to just gaslight them. I don't understand.
Uh-uh.
Like I think everybody can agree. Nobody wants to put a diagnosis out there. Nobody, and I agree with that. But with mental health awareness, I will say, going,
I don't think it came from Sarah because the things she said about Sarah were very unkind in that combo. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that Sarah spoke to her. I think that there was she wanted to speak to Sarah, or she knew information about Sarah from a third party that didn't really know what they were dealing with, but I don't think there was ever the true Sarah connection. I don't think Sarah wants this to be happening. I don't. That's my opinion.
oh no,
I
I
may
agree.
I may be
This
totally wrong. Maybe this is all just some sort of she's enjoying the hell out of it, but I
it's
really
not a
don't think I don't think Sarah wants this to be the topic of conversation, and I don't think that she wants to come back in that light either. Or she would be back. That's her. Think about it. Sarah was so, if she had something to say, she'd pop on and say, "Here it is," and then go off and do her merry way or put a video out. And I don't think that's what Sarah wants. I just don't. And I don't know that for fact. And that's just my opinion.
or she'd talk with her songs, her music, in the
Hmm.
beautiful photo. She would do that to communicate, to touch us, and she didn't, and she hasn't. So, but I can't sit by and be told that I lied. I knew about this. I knew about that. I went along with, no, I
No. And
trusted what
nobody okay, so the one I heard the other day that really blew my mind because they didn't stick on it but for a day, and I heard it and I was like, "What in the hell? Where do you come up with this stuff?" Somehow that was it I want to say it was Kirsty. They said Kirsty made up this story about the son and got Sarah to go along with it and then blackmailed her to continue on with the lie with by
what?
blackmailing her.
No shot.
Well, I mean,
No.
true? No, no, it's not.
Oh my God.
But it was said. It was definitely said.
Stretch friggin' Armstrong make an appearance. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Seriously?
That was said.
Oh my God. The lunacy of it all. The lunacy. The lunacy. Oh my God. Who could even come up with a story like
Well,
that?
the you would think you would think it's out of reach and stuff, but there are people on here that do role play and write stories and make things up, and then they accuse people of role playing, writing stories, and making things up. So
I play role play games, but I don't LARP. I don't do this live action role play stuff, but it's freaking weird.
it's definitely like this was all some conspiracy from the beginning. They got Sarah to go along with it, and then they blackmailed her into keeping the lie going. Oh, really?
Anyone that listened to Sarah toward the end, the last couple of months, if you couldn't hear it in her voice and it didn't like gutturally affect you,
Mhm.
intonation and the emotion that was carried in her voice, you're not human. You've been too busy dehumanizing people that you lost your humanity. And that sucks. That sucks for all the people who did that. They are like, oh, hold on, that's the doorbell. But yeah, it's foul.
Oh, great. So,
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm
oh,
sorry.
you missed it. You missed it.
What? What?
We got pinged.
You got what?
Pinged.
What does that mean? Oh, you did. No. How did you didn't put it up on live, did you?
I tried to put it on Mia's full screen, but I think Melissa saw it. So,
You lousy scumbags. Are do you want to end it here
sure.
so that you can edit it, right? Fuck, why would
Oh,
somebody
you
do
know
that?
what?
What?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
It's just the most ignorant fucking thing
Oh,
of all things. But it was a penis.
um,
So clearly
um,
it's a man. Did you point and laugh?
no, it was a woman.
A woman with a penis.
Yeah, it was a woman with a
It's
penis.
a woman with a penis.
It was a woman with a penis. I
A
don't.
woman with a penis.
I have to
Really?
say, it was a woman with a penis.
No shot. A woman with a penis.
Yeah.
So like a movie penis? Or,
Oh, do you want the rundown? Do you really want the whole rundown?
I don't know. It's been such a long time since I've been peen bombed by anybody.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
It's fun times, I tell you.
Oh wow. Oh, I just saw it. I just saw it. I just caught it.
Okay.
I went back in time. Wow. Yeah, yeah. It was interesting. It's interesting. So are is someone so worried and concerned about what's being said here that
No,
you
no,
know,
it wasn't the same person.
they want this live off the screen. They don't want to
Yeah,
hear
they're so
themselves.
concerned.
That's why we always say check who it is before you add them up.
Oh, I
Oh
did.
my oh, you saw a different
She was sitting there on camera.
oh. Oh, you saw who it was?
Mhm.
Who was it?
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Who the fuck is Dorothy? I'm lost now. Who is
I got your
Dorothy?
Elon back there now. You can just stay there, Elon.
Oh my God, my Elon is there. That was a
Elon's there.
recording. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what we're saying is oh, here's private chat. Elon Ma, add me.
No, thank you. Well, then show yourself, Elon. Who
I
are
am
you?
real. Add me.
Because Dorothy was sitting there. Dorothy was real.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. So why would you want to be on there?
Yep.
I see you, but why would you want to be on my live stream?
What do you have to add? Wow. Wow. I missed it. I missed it. I am lost after. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you I'm pretty lost too, but why do you want to be on my live stream?
They're in private chatting. Is that you, Jugaloo? It
Mhm.
could be.
No, it's a man.
It's a man.
Mhm. Oh, it's
Are we?
not one of our men. No, not anyone. No. I
Oh, it
don't know
could.
who you are, so I don't know why you would want to be on my live
So
stream
many
other than to
bees catching strays out here.
well, I see your name is Elon Ma, and I know you want to say something, but are you related to Sarah in some way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You said
No.
yes.
Then you can type it out and we'll read it. Go in the chat and type.
After what just happened to me, I don't want to have to edit twice.
Nah, trust is earned, not given. Go in the
I know
chat and
you.
speak to the chat.
I know
I
you
don't
want to talk. Trust
go.
you. I trusted Dorothy. Did you see what happened to Dorothy? Well, you obviously saw what you wrote up there, so you're lost after that. So that's what Dorothy. So that's not happening.
Hi, Viper.
How do you know Sarah? How?
They don't.
I know you're not Dorothy. I can see you. You're not Dorothy. So how do you know Sarah? I see you. I know you're a real person. You need
Anything
therapy. I can't give you therapy. I'm sorry.
derailed.
Can't do
Absolutely.
that. Sorry, y'all. Gotta go. Okay, he's gone. He's gone. I
Wow.
don't know. I'm not a therapist. I'm not here for therapy. I need therapy now. Come on, y'all.
Oh, you know what? It could be
Because of the mental health thing.
that, or it could be. Wait, who is tagged publicly on Facebook?
Nobody's tagged.
No, from Coley, because I kind of insulted her bestie. You
Who
know,
what? Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
the pig woman, Roddy.
Oh, that's not Roddy. Trust me.
Okay.
It was not. It was a man, and it was not one of any of the men we know of. No.
Okay. Just weirdos that like to go up on lives. Gotcha. Well, I'm sure you handled it with class. I think I'll have a timestamp for you to go and cut it.
Well,
Um,
okay. Thanks for going after my mental health today, Dorothy. You're a special individual. This is a mental health awareness month, and poor Sarah going through it, and all of us going through it, and you think that's the appropriate thing to do. So, fuck with my mental health today on the first day of Mental Health Awareness Month. Yay! You're special. You're a special kind of stupid.
yes. Oh, you know what? So we also forgot the other trigger. Do you
Which
remember
trigger?
what Sarah politely asked us? There were terms she didn't want to be used, right?
Mm,
Two specifically.
no.
One was
I
one
knew
was the
delusional.
right, but don't you remember the other one was yellow bus?
Oh,
And they
yeah,
went
yeah, and then they made all
down with
the
that. Do you not like?
they made channels with it, they made
Yes. Oh
shorts
my,
with it,
there is
all the
so
things.
much that we've forgotten.
It's
That
hard to remember. There was so much going on, it's hard to remember everything. When I hear people say something, I'm like, "Oh gosh, I kinda forgot about that." there's thing with trauma too, and I have CPTSD. That's one of my diagnoses. But with that, when things get too traumatic, I can tune them off. Like not tune them off. They still affect me, but I try to block it to save myself from any more damage. It's like a mental block to put over it. So
Yeah, it's it was so much. There was so much because it lapped over into different communities, and I don't understand the why and now bringing up this stuff. And I did want to agree with your point and cosign the fact that yes, I had a miscarriage. You're weaponizing it. Oh, but you can deny a whole ass child, a whole ass grown 18, 19-year-old, a human. I co-sign that. I co-sign you
it's
when
a
you say
lot. There's just so much that has went on with this situation.
it's so much. Is there somebody else in the back again?
No. Did you hear something?
I did.
No. It's just me and you.
But
Probably my
like,
microphone. I am not at my desk.
oh, okay.
I moved everything over to the living room and I'm sitting in my recliner because I just wanted to
Okay.
have a conversation.
Oh, good. I'm glad. No, that's the best way to do it. I'm glad. Is
I got
baby
my
on your lap?
dogs all laying on me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just delivered the medicine for Nick that I drove to the pharmacy. You're like, oh,
Yeah, nice.
I ran out midway. I do 2 months at a time, and it's kind of hard. You know what I go through. I don't go
Mm-hmm.
through it. I don't. I don't. I go through nothing. Nothing. Not a nothing. Not a thing. No, 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 not a thing. Um. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, after all that, my mental health is shot to shit right now.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna end it here. I've said all I want to say. Leave Sarah alone. Leave
Uno
Sarah's name
momento,
out
por
your mouth.
favor.
Huh?
Uno momento, por favor.
Oh, okay. Uh, what are you doing? Now I have to entertain.
Welsh Rose.
I can't see him. Tell me who I got. I don't have it up. Can you tell me?
Betty
Oh,
Boop.
yay, Betty.
Melissa. Steph.
Ooh,
Rebrand. And Welsh
nice.
Rose.
Well, we shall have a conversation.
You're
Thank you.
welcome,
Welcome to my new members, all of you. I
guys.
appreciate each and every one for coming to join me, especially with your free membership.
Oh, don't get mad.
Who's mad?
Well,
Nobody's mad.
the fact that the one girl got it, she just,
Oh,
yeah.
Welsh
It's
is
nice to see
welcome. What
Roadhog
is
supporters
wrong?
in
No
here.
problem.
It's nice to see Pig Boy supporters in here supporting. Nice.
Support, support, support.
Guys, is
Welcome,
Daddy gonna pull
people.
your chain now?
Welcome. What?
Is Daddy gonna pull her chain now and tell her, no, you can't go listen to B? I love
Oh,
catching.
no.
I love catching up.
No. Welcome,
Like on the
Welsh.
sneak, if anyone did that, yes, you will catch me on days that I may be subscribed to Coley. Some days
I don't play that game. I don't do it.
I do because people do it to me, and my email box is so full. I
But see,
subscribe and I
I don't do
unsubscribe
it.
to her just for, I admit it.
Have you ever heard Coley come on and say, somebody unsubscribe to me? Well, that's Chicago. Chicago.
It's me. I have 2 channels. Do it on the sneak. I like every
Chicago
other day. I make
signs
sure I do
on
it.
and then skips out.
Just I've been doing it for months and months. I can't help myself. I just can't. I cannot help myself. I try. But yeah, thank you for allowing me to speak on that because I would have went on a tangent. I would have been way meaner. I would have said a lot more curse words and done a lot more names. And I know I should behave better because I am better. But sometimes I am just a grimy bitch and I get down and dirty and I shouldn't do it on other people's channels. So I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Well, thank you for joining me and saying your piece and trying to clear up how
Yeah.
you truly feel about that. I mean, in the moment it was different. We all feel differently
Yes.
today than we did that moment because we didn't know everything we know.
Yeah.
And it's, you learn and you grow. So just because you say something, that's a whole thing too. So just because you say something one day, and that's, you don't hold people, and if they keep continuing to do it and keep continuing to say, believe what they say, believe what they do. But if they turn
Yeah.
it around and they say, well, I kind of thought it was something else, or go with that and let it be. But
Yeah.
if they continue to double down on it, then yeah, that's their opinion, that's how it's going to be. But so
Yeah.
it
Yep.
happened. It
And
wasn't what it meant to be.
this
But
isn't a hate Sarah stream. I still, I feel
no,
for
and
her. I adore her. I just
mhm,
wish the choices she make, but I can stand in my truth and realize if I had gone through uh, half of what she's gone through,
mhm.
you'd be scraping me off the walls.
That, and
That's the truth.
it makes more sense to all the things she said and did and how she felt. And I mean, not
Yes.
that it's excusable to act poorly in any way, but if you can rationalize, go back to
Understand.
the moment things were happening, the time things were happening, it makes a lot more sense. And it's not
The
okay what they did
timeline
to
is
her. It's not
crucial.
okay. Hmm?
Right. You were right. The timeline is crucial. Now that we know, the timeline is crucial. 100% crucial.
Mhm.
When you said that, that was like such a valid point. Valid point. Because
I
you can,
don't like that she ghosted me and Melissa and then
yeah,
derailed her own situation. But
yes.
I mean, who are we to say you have to talk to us? No, it's not like that. But we put a lot of effort into supporting her and listening to her through it all. And, to be the end to end that way, and then to implicate Melissa in anything,
That was fucked up.
so that's where I still, it's like, no, but if she felt that way, she felt that way. She hasn't came back. She hasn't continued to stir the pot. She hasn't continued to do anything. They keep saying this stuff. They don't know even where she went after she left here. So they don't know her. Who is Sarah? Who is Sarah? That is my question of the day.
Yeah.
Who is Sarah? I mean, not any of us. Please, people that we know Sarah, don't
Me,
answer Sarah. Do not
yes.
answer that question. This is for,
Right.
those that are attacked her in the past and did the
Over
things she.
yon. We're just going to say over yon, and we'll just keep her in our memories,
Yeah.
nice and sweet with the over yons. And you know what? I'm gonna pray for her. I'm just gonna put out positive lights, thoughts, energy. Like, girl, be good, please. You know, I know, Kirsten, and I'm sorry if like I haven't talked to you, and I hope you don't think that I hate you or that I'm very I'm hyperbolic a lot and I'm very reactionary. But I understood what you did. I did. I understand why, because if I put myself in that same position, if I had that knowledge, I can't say that I wouldn't have done it. I can't. I can't. So I'm sorry, Kirst, if I hurt you. Never my intention. I never my intention. I understand why you did it. So please forgive me if I hurt you. I didn't mean to. I didn't. I hope you didn't think that.
Melissa says that I actually feel the same way I did then. What happened to Sarah was wrong. I wish she hadn't said what she did about me and people I care about, but she was still wronged. Wherever she is, I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah.
I
I
missed
think
your whole bit, to be honest, Chicago, but I don't hold a grudge against any of you.
if you see any of the clips of me in a Fenty onesie driving my car, those are the clips from that live. So that wasn't recent. That was last year. Um, so anything you see me speaking on you, just know that was last year. Okay. Just know that there's nothing recent at all. I promise. it's they're clipping things out of context. So if you see them, that's where it's coming from. Right? I'm not missing anything else, right, B?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. Okay.
Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you. I hope we can you're echoing back on me. I hope we can just leave Sarah alone. That's what that's what I want. She has mental health issues, in my opinion. I think they're been noticed and spoke about, but I hope that people would just leave her alone. Anything else, Chicago?
No, no, no.
All right. I gotta private my live so I can edit it, and there goes all my comments.
Oh
So
my God, that's right.
all your comments are going to be gone. So I hope I got to the important ones, and that Sarah, if you watch this, that you can see
Yeah.
Melissa's and Steph's and Kirsty and all the comments that need to be said. And Betty Boop's been full support 100% the whole time.
Yep.
So I did not put all Betty Boop's comments on screen, so I apologize for that, but it was fully support the whole time. So
100%.
now I have to take out all the comments and go edit. So
With that, peace out, Girl Scouts.
I know. Thank you for coming. I appreciate y'all listening. Bye.
Bye.